Hi, welcome back
Hi.
to the monologue. We
Hi.
normally cover, themes of Mike Flanagan, his work, etc., but we decided that we're going to veer off, still Mike Flanagan themed, but we're doing something a little different today. My name is Cecilia. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Kelsey and Riley. Say hi.
I'm Riley.
Hi. I'm Kelsey.
Yeah, so today we decided instead of talking about a theme or a work that Mike has already made, we decided that wouldn't it be fun to pitch projects that we think would be fun for Mike Flanagan to do?
Yeah, let's make him adapt some ridiculous source materials. Let's do a Flana Pitch.
There's an emphasis on the funny.
Should we start with who probably has the messiest pitch and go to who thinks they have like a pretty solid thought out pitch?
I have a very messy pitch because I don't know a lot about the source material, so I'm hoping you guys can help me fill in the blanks because we came up with this game, I think, yesterday. We haven't given ourselves a lot of time to prepare, which I think is part of the fun, but I was having a little trouble coming up with a title, and my girlfriend is the one who actually suggested this, and she is at the grocery store right now, so she cannot help me. Would you like me to start my initial pitch with what I do
Yep.
know?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, imagine it. It's 1939. You're in France. You're an orphan. You're shipped off to boarding school to live with the Catholic nuns and 11 other French orphans.
Oh, I see
See
where
where
this
I'm
is going.
It's
you see where I'm
1939?
going? It's 1939. You're in France. You
Wait,
go
is this
and
really?
it's that little redheaded French girl, Madeline,
Madeline?
the orphan. Yeah.
Where
Wait,
my
that take,
dog's name comes from?
wait, this takes place. Madeline takes place in 1939.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's when the original book came out. The first edition of the book. It came out in 1939 by who is the author? Ludwig Bella something. Beethoven. Actually, Julia just walked in the door, so she might be able to help me more. But yeah, okay, I just found out what the plot of this original Madeline book is for the first time today. Apparently, Madeline, the orphan, hanging out, chilling with the nuns and the other orphans, she gets a bellyache, as you do as a 10-year-old orphan or whatever, and then they have to call the doctor, and he's like, hey, we gotta take Madeline to the hospital. She's having appendicitis. She's gotta get that shit taken out. Take her to the hospital. Everything's good. The kids and the nuns come to visit the hospital. And they're like, oh man, what happened? And she's like, I'll show you my scar if you guys give me presents or whatever. And then the next night when Madeline's discharged from the hospital, goes home no, they go home that night without her. And then the nun hears the kids being disruptive and whatever in the one big room that they sleep in together. And she walks in and they're all like, we want scars too. Take our appendixes out. That's the
I
real
vaguely
plot of the
remember
book.
this.
I didn't change anything. That's a horror
Mm-hmm.
story already. I want to see that.
It is. I vaguely remember this. I'd
Fucking
somehow moved it out of my
terrifying.
brain. But yeah, that is real. It
That's
sounds so much
crazy.
weirder.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought when they were explaining what the plot was, that this was okay, here's the creepy, scary plot that we can turn it into. But that was just the originally written text. There's so much potential there.
I mean, given that it's a year before Germany invades France, it really sets a
So an
backdrop.
ongoing series, and this is how we'll kick it off, with haunted, possessed orphans who are trying to cut their organs out, and then it leads to
They
Nazis.
become wartime doctors.
Oh, God! It's all coming together. You're a genius. Julia, would you like to say hi and take credit for the idea that you gave me?
Hi. That was my idea.
Hi.
Thank you.
I watched the Madeline show. I don't remember what it's
Mhm.
about, but I do remember what the movie is about, and it's about sweatshops.
Is it? Is there like a live action movie or is it
Yeah.
like a cartoon? Okay. I don't remember there being, because I think in my mind I always switch her around with like Eloise in the plaza or at the plaza, but that's way more modern. That's like in New York.
I think the movie was like she gets adopted by a lady, but then the lady owns a sweatshop, so she's just adopting orphans to work in her sweatshop and
That's absolutely a horror story. See,
That's
this could be like
worse.
a trilogy of horror Madeline lore.
man,
I
who are
think.
we casting?
Okay,
Who's
so my casting, because we needed a redhead, and I love her in Becky. She's a little chaos demon in that. So Lulu Wilson as Madeline. I think she might be like aging out of it. So I think we just missed her, but
It's
that
CGI. It's fine.
will just de-age her back to a 10-year
Yeah.
old.
AI.
Um, and then I would love to see Kate Siegel as a horrified nun that like walks in and finds these kids chanting about wanting to cut their organs out. I just think Kate could play like a really good like give us a really good facial expression while that is happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like a single tear kind of terrified. Yeah. You know, as for the other roles, I don't really know them. The doctor, maybe we throw Rahul Kohli in there just because he'd be cute as a doctor. He was on the iZombie show. But yeah, otherwise, I don't think we need a very big cast for that.
Find a lot of kids.
Oh,
Find
we
some
just grab
unknowns.
them from the Hill House kids, the Bly kids, everybody join in.
I think they've all aged out though, because like
Oh god.
Yeah,
Violet was
yeah.
the youngest and she's like
Oh god,
13 or
she's like, yeah,
something.
she's a teen now, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we gotta get a fresh crop. But yeah,
Very
I
good
think
point.
that now that I've learned about the horrors of French orphans, that's my pitch. I think it could work.
Wow. And if you
Okay.
get more than
Yeah.
one season, you can explore what
The
we're
lives of
trying to
all
like.
the orphans.
So many more orphans.
Oh no, I hope not.
Things I was not expecting to hear when I woke up this morning.
But that's my chaos. So who would like to pitch to me now?
Oh man,
Um,
I could pitch. Mine's really half baked. Like I
okay.
Okay.
I I was mostly thinking of like what is something that I just want personally in my life that I love. Why don't we have like a nice gritty reboot of the Leprechaun franchise?
We love him. That
We
leprechaun
and
from the first movie, that's my boyfriend.
I have no idea who we would cast. I mean, I feel like it would be a crime not to cast Warwick Davis, but it's also like a different it's going to be like a different property, so does it make sense to cast him in a role or just have him on as like a producer?
I feel like at this point that he just is that leprechaun though. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
But do we
I
need
want to
to
redo it. I want
give
it
more
I want it
opportunities?
I want it to be about real leprechaun mythology. I
Oh,
want
okay.
it
I don't
to
know
be
anything about
set in the
this, but go on.
1950s at like the height of like American consumerism and American advertising because I think like talking about like in a Megan style where you're talking about like how advertising just kind of like corrupts things. The 1950s is a great decade just because I feel like it's very topical because that's when everyone thought America was great and like even in the 1950s like there was still a lot of hatred for the Irish. I just remember my mom always tells
Oh,
me like, you know, it was like a big thing when like JFK got elected in 1960 because there was a lot of like people who hated Catholics.
yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. Catholicism, that's a big sell in your pitch.
very so.
Mm-hmm.
I figured Flanagan, Irish, very fun. An
I
Irish
also
like
went,
mythology.
yeah, with a nun theme, and you let's get those Irish Catholics in here.
I have a
My
suggestion. to
yes.
make to make it funny. So instead of like going with like Warwick Davis or someone like that for the Leprechaun, I say you go the reverse and you cast like Rahul as the Leprechaun.
He's like
Get
Yes.
somebody
six
really
four.
tall. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay. But do we like is everyone else that we cast really, really short to make it even more of an optical illusion? Everyone has to act but on their knees. No, oh, that sounds no, not like that. No.
Oh no, I didn't think that. I just visually imagined
I
everyone
didn't think
running
that
around
either,
on their
but now that
knees.
you said it.
Well, that
That definitely changes the flavor of the property. But yeah, I don't think like I don't even remember like the last Leprechaun film came out. I think something in like the 2010s, but I don't think it was good.
I don't know if it was connected either because there was that like Leprechaun Legacy, I think, but I don't know if it was a reboot or if it was a sequel or what was going on. So I think they've done that a couple different times.
Yeah, but like Leprechaun is such a funny, like on purpose, like campy funny, like especially the first one. Like it still has horror, but it's also very funny. So I
So
think
good.
it
It
would be
is
really
scary.
interesting
Yeah.
um to
I
do it.
think
And I
there's
think
also
like the whole idea is like leprechauns grant wishes, so very easy you could do a monkey's paw thing.
oh,
But
yeah,
make
that's a
silly
great idea.
wishes and like silly consequences.
Oh no, sorry. There's so much chaos going on over here. Now the
There's no
cat's playing with the
worries.
grocery bags.
It matches the theme of this episode. It's fine.
Just chaos. Oh god, the naked cat's going inside the grocery bags. God, I wish I could get that on camera.
Yeah, that was pretty much my funny idea. But the more I did research, the more I realized like from a mythology standpoint, you could actually do a really interesting take because the Scots and the Irish, when they came to America, a lot of them moved to Appalachia, and a lot of the Appalachia folklore is very similar to like Irish
Hmm.
folklore. So I think there's a lot of crossover. But that would be a more serious, not like funny take. But we haven't really like seen a lot of like Appalachian like folklory horror movies, and which kind of surprised me because the Wendigo isn't really
Okay.
Appalachia. It's
As
like
someone from
it's
Appalachia, do
native,
you have
it's
opinions on
indigenous.
this that you'd like to share?
I agree.
Oh, okay.
Appalachian representation.
Yeah. I work in Appalachia now.
What is considered, is it West Virginia? Is that
Yeah,
what's
West Virginia. What part of Ohio is? It's like the
Um,
southeast,
Mahoning County, Columbiana County.
Carroll County. Where we grew up is just outside of what would be considered Appalachia. So like the county over would be.
We were so close.
Yeah, county over and south to us would both be. So I work
Cool.
south now.
where's like the Mothman statue and all that stuff? Is that in West Virginia?
Yeah, it's in Point
Yeah,
Pleasant, West Virginia.
yeah, Mothman's cool.
Has there ever been a Mothman movie?
I
There's
think
been a
yes, but not
couple.
a good one. I think there have been some like found footage ones.
My little
Richard
mouse.
Gere is
The
Mothman.
Mothman prophecies.
The Mothman prophecies. Richard Gere is the
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
really been
getting.
the only one. But I don't think there's been any like super notable ones. But also like Mothman doesn't really do anything. It's mostly just like an omen that bad stuff's gonna happen. And then a few years
Uh,
ago, people were like, "We think he's living at the Chicago airport." So
if you
what is
want,
happening?
wait, what? Why?
I don't know. People started seeing him at the Chicago O'Hare, and they're just like, "He lives there now." I'm like, what?
Was it a guy in a costume and you guys are confused, or?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
that's
Um,
bizarre.
but yeah, we should bring back Leprechaun.
Yes, and I think there's something to be said about the one in space. It is good. It is crazy. Mike should go to space. That's my final thought on your pitch.
Well, and then Kate will get her space movie, so
Kate needs a space movie so bad. I want to see it so bad.
going back
Speaking of,
I just thought of another
ooh,
crazy movie
Yes.
idea off the top of my head. This was not the one that I
yeah,
came into this with, but going off the airport thread, what's that airport that people
the
think is
Denver
like
airport.
Denver.
you yes,
It's so
like
scary. That big fucking horse thing.
Lucifer.
Oh my god.
we need like a Denver like so okay, the way that Eric,
Yeah,
my
yes.
fiance, and I approached this task was okay, Mike Flanagan is known for taking things that you don't think would work as an adaptation and making them work. So we approached it as like, what would be the most ridiculous thing that like we absolutely do not need a movie of? And then he could do that. So the we need a movie on the Denver airport. I don't even
Yes.
know what it would be about, but
I
like
love
that's something
this.
that you would never expect. Okay. And
And-
then well, we can talk about this and then I'll tell you the other
yes,
two
yes, yes.
ridiculous ones. Okay. So if there was a movie or an adaptation, I guess, of the Denver airport into a movie, what do you think it should be about?
I have an idea immediately. I want
Okay.
it to be like a vlog style found footage of asshole YouTubers doing some kind of like bad prank thing or whatever at the Denver airport, and then all of the haunted bad stuff, karma comes back around and gets them. Put Logan Paul in the Denver airport and then fuck with him.
I like this. That's very similar to in Halloween Horror Nights there was a house in 2019 called Graveyard Games, and
Mm.
basically there's like this troublemaker boy and he's trying to convince this girl to go into this graveyard for it must be Halloween because it's Halloween Horror Nights. And he intends to like scare her and pull all these pranks on her, but then the actual ghosts of the people buried in the cemetery like find out and then they
Nice.
just come after him instead.
Oh my god, that's so much fun. I feel
That's
like that
great.
could be almost like the same tone as like a Deadstream kind of movie where it's just like here's a bunch of ghosts and ghouls and we're gonna beat the shit out of this annoying guy. I love that.
And I feel like our
That's great.
society at this point, like we're kind of getting annoyed with like the like obnoxious influencer trope. And so I
Yeah.
think people would really enjoy seeing like some characters like that get their comeuppance or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
I think
Ugh.
going back to the Denver airport, I think you lean hard into like Doctor Strangelove vibes, and you just focus on the corrupt corporate elite and like the 1% and
Oh.
about how they. I almost feel like I don't think this is Mike's style, but like a funny mockumentary of like them all trying to work together to control the world from the depths of the Denver airport.
Oh, that what's that? I think it's New Zealand, that Wellington Paranormal. It almost sounds like that, where it's just like everyday police officers going, but then they deal with just paranormal stuff. And it's like, oh, the ghosts are clogging the toilets at the mall again. But it's
Is
like
that a
that, but
TV
at the
show?
Denver airport. Yeah, it's on HBO Max, I think.
Oh
Oh,
my
I've
God,
never seen it.
I need to watch that. We spent like 3
Yeah, it's
weeks, I
really
think,
funny.
in Wellington, so I need to see that because there might be
Oh
places I
yeah.
recognize.
No,
That's
it's really
great.
funny. I've watched the first like two seasons, but that's like the vibe that popped into my mind when you were describing that. Was like the bureaucrats trying to reason with like demonic forces.
Yeah.
And then there'd have to be, you know, some monologuing because you can't have a
Oh
Flanders
yeah.
thing
Well,
without
they're all
monologuing.
evil,
So,
so they're all evil monologuing all the time over top of each other.
Oh, so it's like being in hell when you're at the Denver airport.
Yeah.
Okay, just the sensory overload itself would
But
kill me.
it's because it's the Denver airport is built on top of what of the first airport. So there's a bunch of like underground tunnels
Mm.
and stuff.
Hmm.
So I think they could just like work under there and be really non-discreet when they come back up into the rest of the airport, like in billowing robes, kind of like what we do in the shadows.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious. I feel like yeah, that would work as a very fun like horror comedy. There
yeah.
need to be more. Yeah.
So we took something, some random icon that like you would never expect to have a movie be made about it, and now we have like a half-baked pitch.
It's great.
I think it's coming along great. This is the best writer's room I've ever been in.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna save Eric's for the last because I feel like his is the most random.
Okay.
So my thoughts, which we're all millennials, right? We're all in the same
Yes.
generation. So this
91.
So this movie that I'm about to reference, we've probably all seen or at least know about. So I was trying to think of movies from my childhood that absolutely do not need an adaptation or a sequel. And the one that I settled on is Spice World.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Okay, I was
And
not
Yes,
a
yes.
Spice girly,
Aliens,
and
space
you
film.
were. Oh, they go to space? I've
No,
never seen
aliens.
it.
Aliens come down, right?
yeah,
Aliens come
there's
here?
aliens that come down, but then it's like, and you think it's gonna be scary, but then they're Spice fans, and
They're
that's why the
fans.
aliens came down. Yeah, they want a picture,
Oh.
and so there's a lot of like spoofs on and then there's like that one where they hear the noise in the house, and it's the paparazzi guy that like somehow is like coming up through the toilet to try and get a photo, and so there's like a lot of like spooky moments that are like spoofed in that in that movie.
That is terrifying. I might have to finally watch this because I never cared much about them. I know that Cecilia did when we were in elementary school. Uh, but yeah, feel like that could be a very interesting, like, even the aliens have parasocial relationships now. They're invading to meet the Spice Girls.
Do we bring the Spice Girls back? Like, is it the same
Oh.
cast and like we talk about what their lives are like now?
So
Like that gets
my
worked in?
my
Yes.
thought, so when Eric and I were talking about it, was you cast like Planiverse regulars as the Spice Girls. So we were trying to figure out like who would be who. And then I just like we couldn't figure it out. We got really really confused, and at one point I thought I had all of them figured out except for like Sporty Spice, and then I was like, oh, but where would we put Kate? And then we're like, well, she doesn't fit there. And then so I don't know. I think she would be Posh Spice
I
because
was
in
That
the
makes
thinking
in
sense.
Posh
the
too, because she's
movie,
like
yeah.
high fashion.
And then in the movie, Posh has these like really great deadpan lines. So, and I could see her
Okay.
doing like really good one-liners. And then
Yeah.
Eric suggested Victoria Pedretti for Baby Spice, but I think
That's what
that's
I
just
think.
because she was blonde when she was Danny. I don't know.
I think
I
she comes
actually
across
thought
as like
that.
innocent.
Well, and I thought that too because if you are a fan of Casey Musgraves, she did with I think her last album that came out a couple of years ago. They
Oh,
did
I
like
remember.
music video movie thing, and Victoria's in it as like just a kind of like mean hot girl. But she's in like a pink outfit that's like kind of skimpy, and I was like, that would make sense for Baby Spice. Who would
Okay.
scare? What are they? They're
Well,
scary.
Ginger, would that
Scaries.
just be Sam?
Ginger
Yeah,
Smollen?
it
would,
could, but
yeah,
it, Samantha
Sloyan?
Sloyan, that would be like just too. I think feel like that'd be too
too
obvious.
We could
obvious.
make her Scary Spice. She plays a great, scary, intense lady.
And then we
That's
need to
true.
like
If it's a character, put her in, Coach.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
then
good cast.
we need to randomly put like Hamish and Rahul in there just to make it funny.
Well, maybe Hamish can be like they're very serious. No, he can be one of the girls, and then Raul can be like the manager
The
who's just
manager.
trying to get them to like, please, girls. Oh my god. I feel like
There's
that would
Who's
just
be
a
fun.
Ginger?
lot of like I guess Samantha Sloyan if we're just gonna I don't know.
Put Molly C. Quinn in there. Let's get a fresher face. I love seeing her on that Scare Tactics reboot. It's so fun. They could never get me because I'd be too excited to see her.
Yeah, it would give it away if I like went to some situation and be like, what is Molly doing here?
You're
Wait,
just
is
like,
this from
oh
Scare
my god,
Tactics?
go. No. Now, anytime you see her, it's gonna be like, oh god, what's she gonna do to me?
So in the movie, Meatloaf is their bus driver. So and
Wait, put
then
me in, Coach. I want to play Meatloaf, the bus driver.
you want to
Those are
play
the two
You could
Meatloaf.
things
be
I want to
Meatloaf the
be in
bus.
my life.
Meatloaf and a bus driver.
Yeah. I'd be a great
Okay.
Meatloaf impersonator. You guys, you don't see this, but
What if we
I'm
make
a big boy.
Samantha Soyan Scary Spice and then make like Tiana Miller like Ginger? Because she's got that leader presence. I feel like she could play a good leader
Ooh.
character.
Okay.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that would work.
I love that, and I love seeing her in things. So yeah, do it.
Okay, that fits. And like there is like a decent amount of monologuing. Like there's like that scene where like they're on the stage and like the manager is like, "You need to rehearse," and they're like, "No, our friend is pregnant. We have to go see her at the hospital." And then like Ginger has like that whole monologue about like why family's more important than performing, and so there are quite a lot of moments for the Flanagan monologue.
Wow, this is perfect. This is a great pitch.
I'm gonna have to watch this movie. It sounds like a great call.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be Meatloaf, though, you're gonna be in it. So,
Well, that's true. I'll read the script then, I guess.
okay,
All
are we
right.
ready for Eric's pick, or do we have more to discuss on that?
Oh no, I've got nothing to say. I've got to
Okay.
watch the movie.
I think the last cast is Katie Parker as Sporty. That's my last cast.
Oh my
Oh
god,
yeah, yeah.
I love
Okay.
that. Yes,
And then the whole cast. Yeah, we got all the
It
girls.
comes together.
love those girls.
All right, so
Last pitch. Let's do it.
the last one. So this was the one that I thought was the most out of left field. I hope I didn't hype it up too much. So Eric's thought was again taking something that doesn't need a movie, that you would never expect to see a movie made of, just a random everyday object,
Right.
and see what Mike does with it. So he pitched an adaptation of the board game Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we love Sorry. Okay.
That's a
Because there's
great
no backstory. Like we were trying to think of like board games, and we're like, no, because like Monopoly, that could kind of be like Wolf of Wall Street, and like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, it would need to be like a boxing thing. But we're like, sorry, it's just these like colored like pieces of plastic that are moving around a board. And he's
But you
like,
have to go
you
back to
could you could
home.
yeah, you could have like the red piece could like bump the yellow piece back to home, and then it could like monologue about like everything that it took to get it to do it. I don't know.
Great. I know. It's about how as millennials we can't afford anything, so we have to keep moving back home. So every time we think we move out and get further on, we have to go back home.
Let's go all the way
or
back.
like the parents are sick, so we have to go back home to take care of them.
Oh my god, it's a beautiful, haunting family drama. I love it.
So it's a
I feel.
commentary on what it's like to be a millennial in today's society.
Oh my god, yeah, it does. It's a lot of one step forward, 11 steps back. I feel like this also could turn into some sort of, I don't know what board game company makes Sorry.
Is it Hasbro or is it Parker Brothers?
I don't know who makes the Ouija board though, because we've got a Ouija board
yeah,
movie. This
we
could
do
turn into
have
like a
that.
Mike Flanagan board game universe.
Board game universe.
Candyland, that there's something going on there. There's a whole guy made of mud.
That was the one that I suggested, and Eric said, no, that one kind of already has, like, established characters. Like, with Sorry, it's, like, just this, like, hunk of plastic.
That's true. It's like, this one is green. What is his personality based on that?
Hasbro owns Sorry.
Okay, is Hasbro Ouija, or is that Parker Brothers?
Hasbro!
Oh!
This could work.
I mean, Mike did do Ouija Origin of Evil, so it all comes together.
This could work out.
Hasbro also owns... Oh, go ahead.
What would we call the Sorry movie? So we've got Ouija, Origin of Evil.
Oh, okay.
Should
so then we need
make-
a Sorry something.
Does
Yeah, I
Sorry
don't know what it
take
would be,
place in the Midwest?
Yes, always. Everything should. Go
Who
on.
says Sorry a lot?
Ohioans.
Or like Canada?
Ooh, Canadians.
Oh, yeah, Canadians.
Canadians, Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
Hasbro owns Scrabble, Life,
Oh, I love
Pluto,
Scrabble.
Battleship, Candyland, Hungry Hungry Hippos,
Oh,
Risk.
that. Hippos are terrifying.
There was a pitch
Bop
for,
it.
or like, I think somebody was trying to make a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie at one point, and then I think it fell apart because I haven't heard anything about it. So after the Barbie movie, like people were like I'm not even kidding. Like after the Barbie movie, people were like trying to figure out how to make backstories for other toys.
I mean, Raggedy Ann's got a pretty good one in that Annabelle series.
And Clue or Cluedo in England already has.
Oh, is that what it is? I was about to say,
Yeah,
what
it's
is
the same-
Cluedo?
It's the same board game. They just call it Cluedo in England. Maybe other countries. We might be the only country that calls it Clue. I don't know.
Well, Clue already has the perfect
Oh,
adaptation, so why would anyone fuck with that?
yeah. So
But
not that one. But
not
I mean,
that one.
that's a long list of games. So
Oh yeah,
What about like Don't Wake
There's
Daddy?
tons of potential. What did you say?
don't wake
Do you
daddy.
remember Don't Wake Daddy?
Oh yes, I definitely had one of the Don't Wake Daddies.
Or like
Oh,
perfection,
weird
that thing where if
concept.
you don't get them all in the right spot, then it explodes. That's
Oh,
what gave
yeah,
me
it explodes all
anxiety.
over the place.
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite was a game called Henry. Did anybody have a Henry? It was like a purple handheld game with a bunch of orange buttons, and you would have to match all of the different sounds. So you. Speaking of sounds, did you guys
That
hear
was
that
perfect
cat?
timing.
Oh,
DB! What are you doing, DB? Where are you?
I don't think I've ever heard of this game. I just found it. I don't know if you
What
can see
game?
it. This is Henry.
Ugh.
I've heard the name, but
Oh,
I've never had it or played it.
okay, Eddie.
Yeah, no, I've never seen it before.
Oh, okay.
But like we could do like a
Well,
Bop It origin story and
I love a bop. Ugh. Whoa. All right. There we go. Sorry.
I always associate Bop It with Ohio because my cousin in Ohio, whenever I would go visit her for the
Yeah.
summer, we would like have Bop It tournaments. So I always associate that with Ohio.
Is it an Ohio thing? Is that why I love that game? I was
I don't
playing
think
it at the
so.
Walmart the other day. Just one from the shelf.
Bop it, twist it,
Twist it.
Yeah,
pull it,
great.
boing,
It's so
flick
Oh,
good.
it,
God. It's
boom.
so fun. How do
hmm
we adapt to Bop It?
I don't know. We'd have to give the different pieces like motivations, like inside out.
No. You know what we do? We go the Saw hostile rap. We
Oh,
go twist
okay.
it, and then it twists all your organs. Pull it, it rips your limbs off.
That sounds
It's.
like a Squid game, like the
That
American
got
Ooh.
Squid Game.
Yeah.
that got dark really quickly.
Thank you. I think we did it. I think we've got,
Got so many.
plenty of stuff to work with. Which one do you think Michael liked the best?
I
I
don't
think the
know.
sorry one. I like
I
the
think the
sorry
sorry one
one.
too. That was the first thing that came to my mind was, I
The
think Eric
Spice
brought it
Girl
up.
one, though. I really want the Spice
Oh,
Girl one.
the Spice Girl one, I want to succeed because I want Kate to go to space.
When
I thought you were gonna
we,
say, I want to be Meatloaf.
Well,
I
and I
want
would
that
like to
too.
be Meatloaf. I'll do a music number and everything.
When we post this, we need to do a poll so that like people can vote
Yes.
Yeah.
on the adaptation that they would most like to see.
Yes. Oh my god. All right, I'm on it. Blue Sky, do you have polls yet? I don't know.
Does it not?
I don't know. If
Well, we'll
not,
find out.
just, we'll make people post in the comments. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
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 All right. I think that is everything from us. Thanks, everybody, for listening or watching.
Okay, mine does
Ooh, I
not
love
do
this.
that. My screen is broken.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.